You caught it.
Okay, we're gonna go live. Are we live? Yep, we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today, I have Jujuana Howard on my channel today. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me today.
I know I butchered your name. I know I did. I know I did.
No, you did good. Most
Okay.
people can't even pronounce it. So you did
Okay.
good.
Thank you. Okay, tell us about yourself.
So my name is Jujuana Howard. I'm a United States Air Force veteran. I'm an HR professional, an author, an independent, a Mary Kay independent beauty consultant, and I'm a wife and mother of a 6 and a 4-year-old. I own Jujuana Howard LLC, which is a consulting company, and I specialize in personal and professional development. I have published several books and online training material. My books and training material are focused on enhancing your everyday life. And it is designed to give you practical tools on how to navigate life and help you reach your ultimate goals.
Okay. What is your genre and what attracted you to that genre?
So I typically write nonfiction, and most of the nonfiction is about my life and different situations that I have been through, things that I have gone through, really personal experiences that I believe that will help somebody else so they don't have to go through the same things that I did.
Okay. What is your writing process like?
Oh, so I have a husband and 2 kids. So usually I either write real early in the morning or real late at night. And I also work throughout the day. So normally my schedule is that I usually get up in the morning. I try to get up between 5, usually between 5 and 5:30, but that is the time that I do my devotional. And then immediately after that, I like to spend at least 30 minutes to an hour writing. At night, once I get all the kids in the bed and get everybody settled, is usually between, I would say between 9 and 11 is when I do most of my writing.
Okay. How long did it take you to write a book?
It depends. If it's something that's really on my heart that I really need to get out, it can take me a matter of days. However, if it's something that I'm continuing to add things to, for example, I am working on a marriage book, and literally I've been married 12 years and I have been writing this book for 12 years because I keep adding stuff to it. So it really just depends on what the subject is. I've had books that usually, take me less than a month. I've had some that have taken me, a couple of days, but I am working on one right now that's a 12-year in progress.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Now tell us the title of your book and briefly describe what it's about.
Okay, so the title of my book is called Ed the Advisor. Ed the Advisor is a story about a talking goat who gives advice to other animals. Then one day he meets a cow who has problems that he cannot solve. So he starts to rely on his friends for advice, or a friend for advice. This book follows Ed's journey as he learns how to gain confidence in his own gifts, talents, and ability. So it's basically just his journey of learning to depend and trust in himself.
And what inspired this book?
So the interesting thing about this book is that I actually wrote this book when I was 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
So this year I actually turned 45. So you do the math, but literally this was a classroom assignment for me. We had to come up with a concept. We had to illustrate the book. We had to create a publisher. We had to do a bio. We had to bind the book together. So yeah, I did all of this at 9 years old. And I don't know if you can see it, but I actually have the original copy. My mom actually saved this. I got an A on this project now, but she saved this and gave it to me when I was in my early 30s. And then 2 of my cousins actually convinced me to publish it, and which I did this year.
Okay. What are your plans for this book?
So my plans for this book, just like I said, I want little kids to know that you can put anything that you set your mind to.
Mhm.
When I look at this book, this is like from even as a child, I always wanted to be an author. So it is really something special to me to see that I did not let that dream die. Like literally, this is something I wanted to do when I was 9 years old. And here I am, in my 40s living this lifestyle. And I absolutely love it. So I want to show them that, yeah, don't give up on your dreams, always pursue them because you can be anything that you put your mind to.
All right. Now, can you share a snippet from your book?
Yes, so I'm going to share the last page on the book. And this is after, all the lessons that Ed has learned. So on the last page, it says, as Ed was laying in his bed, he understood why Tom would not help him. Tom wanted him to use his own advice and solutions to solve his own problems. And that's the gist of the story. We want to be able to know that, be confident in yourself. Even if you make a mistake, it's okay. That's how you learn, that's how you grow. So be confident in the choices that you make for yourself. Don't always rely on other people, but listen to your own heart because you know what's right for you in your situation. And don't be afraid to get it wrong. I always tell people failure is just another opportunity to get it right. So don't ever be afraid of it.
And what age group?
The
Uh,
age group is from 6 to 9, but my kids are 4 and 6, and they're actually reading it. So I think if you read to your kids a lot, even as young as 4, they could probably read this book.
okay. What has been your greatest accomplishment in your writing career?
I would honestly have to say just publishing my first book
Mhm.
because you're actually putting yourself out there. So it was a very scary thing for me. Will people like it? Will they buy it? What will people think? Did I do a good job? So I think once you overcome all of that fear, it's just like, oh my God, I finally did it. Here I did. I sat
Yes.
down, I wrote it, and now it's out to the world to see. So I think that was my greatest accomplishment, actually having the courage to put myself out there and to release what I had always wanted to release.
Okay. How do you feel about reviews, whether they're good or bad?
I think reviews are good. Everybody is not gonna like the material that you put out there, but that doesn't bother me. I'm not for everyone. But there
Yes.
are some people that I can reach, and there are some people who will gain valuable information from from the materials that I put out there. So I try not to dwell on the bad reviews. I'm not for everyone. I understand that. But I love a good review now.
Mhm.
I mean, who doesn't want, to have someone like their work and to be able to share that with other people? But just like I said, it comes with the nature of the job. So I'm okay with getting a bad review. I do kind of look at them. If it's something I feel is nitpicky, then I kind of just, put it in the back of my head or whatever. But sometimes your readers can give you information that you can use to kind of better yourself. So I never take that for granted. I think, you can determine what you need to keep and what things you need to throw away. So I do read them, but I don't put too much, I don't take myself too seriously. I'll put it that way.
Okay. What are you currently working on right now?
So currently, I have 3 books that are coming out this year. So earlier this year, I released a book. It's called The Mom Chronicles:
Mhm.
Navigating Life, Work, and Motherhood During a Pandemic. So that is actually a series. So in October of this year,
Okay.
I'm releasing The Mom Chronicles: Scandalous Confessions. So, and
Did you
those are
say
just the,
scandalous?
I said scandalous confessions. Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'm about to tell you everything that every mom has ever thought, but has never dared share. And
Bingo.
as mothers, we do that. So my purpose for that book is just to show people that yes, we are moms, we are human. We have these thoughts. We don't have to do these thoughts or act on these thoughts, but we're human. These things occur. And it's okay. It doesn't make you a bad mom because you say this or think this. Um, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my life and some of the things that I have thought, some of the, confessions that I will share as a mother and things I've thought and things that I have done. So I think it's going to be, super fun for moms. And I think all moms can relate to this. My second book that's coming out, which will be coming out in late August, is actually called From Powerless to Powerful: Keys to Developing Self Confidence.
Mhm.
So that book is almost finished. That will be released sometime in August. But that book is just showing you how to gain confidence, getting you from step A to step B, how you can go from, not really feeling confident to yourself to feeling like, you know what? I can do anything.
Yes.
So that's the purpose of that book. It's just to kind of give you the confidence you need to walk into the destiny that God has called you to. So I'm super excited about that one. And then remember, I told you I had spent 12 years working on this marriage book. So I was talking to a friend about this, and she was like, you know what? You should break this book up. And I was like, why didn't I think of that? So I am breaking the marriage book up into a series. So that will be coming out sometime in December. And I haven't really settled on the title yet because I'm breaking it up. But the first section will be in the beginning, and it will be talking about my husband and I when we met, and how we got engaged, and leading up to the marriage. So that's going to be coming in December. So I've been pretty busy this year.
Uh-huh. Okay, let's see if anybody in the audience. Oh, wow, wow, wow. We have uh someone says congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yes. What is the Ed the advisor about? It is it to all or certain aspects of life?
No, it's mostly about just being confident in the decisions that you make. We don't always know things, but I think if you take time to look at a situation, to review it, to evaluate it, and you make the best decision that you can at the time, I think that's all right. Even if it's not the right decision per se, the
Mhm.
fact that you trusted in yourself, you just didn't do something. I always tell people who make decisions without taking in the cost, or how it's going to affect you, how it's going to affect things in your life, those are the ones you need to worry about. But if you
Oh,
take
yes.
time to look at your situation, to evaluate it, and you make the best possible decision that you can, you're going to be all right, even if it's not the best decision. So that's my thing, is just trusting in your own abilities, your own gifts, and your own talents. Stop relying on other people. Stop listening to a lot of folks.
Yes.
Trust in yourself. Trust in the Holy Spirit that God has given you. Trust in your beliefs, your values. Trust in you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see more questions. How well do you embrace failure?
Failure. I just like to say it took me a long time to learn this lesson, but failure is just another opportunity to get it right. And I always tell people who fail, uh, for me, it's not a failure if you tried. I think to me, the failure is giving up on you and giving up on yourself, So I
Yeah.
don't see failure as, oh my God, I didn't do this. Yes, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've started businesses. Some have been successful, some have not.
Mhm.
But I learned so much from the experience. So I don't consider it a failure, because this way, if I hadn't opened the business, I would have never learned X, Y, and Z. So
Yes.
I don't ever consider it, failure is just another opportunity to get it right.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Any more? She says, awesome. Any
Thank
more
you.
questions? Any more questions? Awesome. True.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you guys for interacting with me. I love, love, love being able to communicate with people, and just to connect. So thank you so much for being interactive today.
Okay. Let me see. Any more questions? Okay. Where can we find you and your books?
So you can get all of my books on my website, which is juanahoward.com. And you can also get my books on Amazon. And I will put that in the comments once we get done.
All righty. Any more questions before we close? Oh, have your husband or your family or friends read the book, and what were their thoughts?
Yes. So before I release it to the public, I usually take it to, my close friends and families and have them review it. I also do what is called a beta read. So sometimes I
Mhm.
give it to them, let them read it, give me feedback. And if I need to tweak some things, I'll tweak them before I, actually release it to the public. So yes, I do involve my family in that. I do value their opinion. But just like I say, I still try to hold true to what I'm trying to do. So I don't change everything, but there are some things that you can learn from other people reading your material prior to. So I do take that in consideration. So yes, my family is involved. Even my kids, like I had them involved in the process of doing this children's book. I actually was able to allow them to take it to their school and have it read in their classrooms. I've read this book to them at night. This book has been in everywhere. Every room of my house has been in the trash, has been in the under the bed, under the toy box. So yes, it is very important to me to involve my family, in the process.
Okay. Let's see if any more questions. Have you ever changed your storyline because of what a reader has said?
No, no. I always try to hold true to what my focus is. The thing with me is that I typically pray about everything that I release because I want my information to be helpful to other people.
Mhm.
So if I feel led to write something, I'm not going to change it because somebody disagrees with it. Now I will listen to the constructive
Mhm.
information that they have to give me, but it doesn't mean I'm only going to change what I feel led to change. So no, I do not change based on other people's thoughts or opinions.
Okay. All right, Juju. That's what I call you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This has been super fun, and I look
Now, are
forward to
you
doing
you
one of
not
these
on?
again.
You was on the last one, right?
Yes, I was on the
The
last.
last one, because I got another one
Mhm.
coming up in September, October, November, and
What? Look,
December.
I definitely might do the October one because I have a new book out then. So
Oh
definitely.
yeah, yeah. Yes. Let's see where I'm in October. Yeah, I still got some.
Mhm.
Wait a minute, hold up. September. Oh, October. I'm doing two because
Uh-huh.
October the 9th filled up like that.
I
So
know.
I decided to do another one for children's authors October 23rd.
Okay. All right.
It's almost filled.
Now, I really
So,
want to thank you, Queenie, because this is great to be able to have an avenue where you can come and, just tell people about your book and to get yourself out there. So I just want to thank you for all that you do. I mean, it's been great being able to come on here and to share my information and being
you're
able to talk
welcome.
to you. So,
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, I got another question.
uh-huh.
Your characters cause, wait a minute, Missy. Have your, what's you, oh, have your characters caused you to change the storyline?
No, because I typically write about myself. So it's all or nothing. You get exactly what you see. But no, I don't typically change, I don't typically change anything. It is, I try to be true, I try to be relatable, and I try to be honest in everything that I put out there. So it's all about me. I'm not necessarily talking about anybody else but myself.
Okay. Someone says, congratulations. This is
Thank you.
information. And another question, have you ever fought with any of your characters?
I haven't fought with any of my characters, but I have fought with on how much to release in my books. Because I never want to offend anyone. However, I
Mhm.
think some things need to be said. So I'm very strategic in how I present the information. My goal is never to embarrass anyone or never to, it to come back like, well, she said this about me. No, that's not my intention. It's never to hurt anyone. So I'm very strategic about how I release things. And I do pray about how much to release because everybody doesn't even know everything.
Mhm.
I want the information that's going to help them, but it doesn't necessarily mean they have to know everything about my life. So, yes, I do take those into consideration.
Okay, let me see if any more questions. Any of your characters you did not like?
Myself, there was some things I wrote. So, my first book is called that is so funny. But anyway, my first book is really just called Letters from My Father, but it's in there and it talks about my experience of going from being unsaved to saved and how all of that happened and all the, the process and learning those different things.
And that's Mommy
But
Chronicles.
no, that was my first book. So it was more of like a biography for me.
Biography. Okay.
So I wrote that, but just like I said, I look back on there and I think this poor child, all the things that I went through that I didn't have to go through, but because I lacked self-esteem and, had some things happen
Mhm.
to me and how I had allowed that to take hold of my life. I look at that person, I grieve for that person because I'm like, I don't even know who she is now because God has brought me so far,
Mhm.
so far from that. Um, So I guess if I could go back, and I might actually do this book, if I could do letters to myself at that age, and just go through all of the lessons that I learned from when growing up, and, not taking yourself so seriously, or just being confident in yourself and your abilities and who you are as an individual. Everybody has purpose. And our job is to find out what that purpose is. And you don't truly live until you're actually walking in that purpose. So it's like, if I could go back and just tell myself, you got your whole life to do this. Focus on these things, have
Mhm.
fun, do this, don't be so hard on yourself. If I could go back and do those, and I definitely would. So I would say the only character I probably didn't like was probably myself at times, and only because of just my almost ignorance in just living.
Yes.
Mhm.
Someone says, thank you for sharing. And another question, how do you develop your characters, and are any of them based on anyone in your life or family?
No, I only write about myself so far. Now, I've been toiling with the ideal of writing a novel, but I have not committed to it yet. But yes, I am going to eventually try a nonfiction book. Um, and I would probably base some characters loosely, definitely on myself, but loosely on some people that I've encountered throughout my life. So, yes. But just like I said, I would be very strategic because it's never my goal to hurt anyone or offend anyone. But yes, some of the information will be things that actually happen to me in different scenarios. So yes.
Let's see, we have any more questions. All right, we getting some smiley faces and some. All right. Well, I guess this concludes our little author interview. Thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Quinny. It's always a pleasure. And thank you guys. I can't wait to
Uh,
interact with
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Thank you, thank you,
Mhm.
thank you for the comments and the questions. Book bestie.
All right. See you guys.
um, this is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. Bye, y'all.
Bye.